Yo, what's good, everyone? This is Yo Boxing with Madiba, and we're here to talk about if Gervonta Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia would generate 2 million pay-per-view buys. So the reason why I'm even talking about this or using that exact number is because in a recent interview, Oscar De La Hoya stated that that fight between Ryan and Tank will generate 2.5 mil. And here's what he said in reference to the fight. Quote, "We're all working together to blow this one out of the water. It's such a special fight. We want to make sure that this fight does 2.5, 3 million homes. This is that type of event. Realistically, it does close to 2.5. End quote. This is a very ambitious number, but De La Hoya seems confident in it. But I do not believe that the fight will even sell close to that number because Tank and Ryan are not household names nor pay-per-view draws. However, I do believe this fight will be the biggest in 2023. Let me explain. The reason why I believe it's the biggest fight in 2023 is because it's a fight between two young, undefeated, in their prime, popular boxers. And this fight has been marinating for some time, and they have a true rivalry. Additionally, Tank is African American and Ryan is Mexican American. And boxing history has shown us when you have a popular black boxer versus a popular Mexican boxer, the fight will be big. Examples include Floyd versus Canelo, De La Hoya versus Floyd, Hopkins versus De La Hoya, Mosley versus De La Hoya versus Whitaker, Whitaker versus Chavez, Chavez versus Taylor, and etc. And when you look at Tank, he's a boxing superstar. He has sold out his last 4 fights, all of them were at arenas, and they were in different states. He just broke the all-time live gate record at Capital One Arena, and he broke the all-time live gate record for a boxing event at the Barclays, both selling over 5 mil at the gate. Every time he fights, he garners attention on social media, and big-name celebrities, entertainers, and athletes always attend his fights. And as a person who has went to his last 2 fights, he definitely brings out all types of people. I saw a girl I went to high school with at the Rolly Romero fight in Brooklyn, and you have to keep in mind that we're both from Maryland, and I know for a fact she doesn't watch boxing, so that says something. And when you look at Ryan, he may be less of a superstar compared to Tank, but he has a large social media following. He has more than 15 million followers across all of his social media platforms and has relationships and collaborates with other social media influencers, entertainers, athletes who have their own audiences. In addition to that, he has a large female following. A lot of girls that I know follow Ryan Garcia, and I know for a fact that they don't watch boxing. Ryan hasn't broke any live gate records yet, but he does bring out crowds. He sold out the crowd in his fight against Luke Campbell. Even though he has less momentum going into this fight compared to Tank, he definitely has the potential to garner a large fan base for this fight. Despite all the positive things I've said regarding Tank and Ryan, they are not crossover superstars or household names yet, and their viewership numbers show that. If you look at Tank's pay-per-view numbers, he averages 200K per fight, and there's always a degree of uncertainty and conflicting reports whenever his pay-per-view numbers do come out. It was first reported that his fight with Hector Garcia only did 61K. It was then reported that it did 350K. Now it's being reported that it did between 200 and 225K. So can we really trust those numbers? But if he was a household name and a crossover superstar like a Floyd Mayweather, a Manny Pacquiao, or an Oscar De La Hoya, he would be selling over 500K. For example, Canelo, who's the face of boxing right now, sold 800K against Plant, 500K against Bivol, and 1.1 million against Triple G and their trilogy fight. And Ryan Garcia hasn't even fought on a pay-per-view yet, so his drawing power can't even be considered in this conversation. Furthermore, piracy is far more prevalent in today's era of boxing compared to 10 years ago. It's way easier to find an illegal stream than to pay for a pay-per-view fight, and most of the people who are doing this illegal streaming, rather than buying the fights, are younger people, which is a target demographic for Ryan and Tank. The reason why Tank and Ryan aren't household names nor crossover superstars yet is because they haven't fought another top-rated big-name opponent that are pay-per-view worthy. For example, look at Mayweather before and after his fight with Oscar De La Hoya. Before Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather was a big name in the sport, and he was a top-rated guy. And he was also fighting other top-rated guys, but those opponents he was facing weren't pay-per-view draws or pay-per-view stars. he only sold 300K against Gotti, Zab Judah, and Baldomir, but after Oscar De La Hoya fight, he was selling a consistent 1 million plus pay-per-views against guys like Hatton, Marquez, Mosley, Cotto, Canelo, Pacquiao, etc. If Tank and Ryan had fought guys like Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Loma, Shakur Stevenson, Gary Russell Jr. before this fight, I guarantee that their pay-per-view value would be higher than what it is right now. But this fight is in the right direction, and whoever wins this will catapult into that household name that could generate 2.5 million pay-per-views in the future. But I don't see it happening for this fight. But who knows, this is boxing. Anything can happen. But thank you for tuning in with Ayo Boxing with Madiba. Hit like and subscribe, and more content's coming your way.